The next 3 weeks, the Ezes Hashem, will be speaking about the halachas and the minhagim of this year that Erev Pesach has Chalias b'Shabbos. It's unique, doesn't happen often. The last time it happened is 13 years ago. These many halachas that are negeya, starting from Shabbos HaGadol, the day before Erev Pesach, the night, the day, and so on, Erev Pesach itself, Shechalias b'Shabbos. So Be'ez Hashem will try over the next 3 weeks to cover. There's actually a siman in Shulchan Aruch, Taf Mem Daled, of Erev Pesach, Shechalias b'Shabbos. So let's start with Shabbos HaGadol. Shabbos HaGadol, it's not just called Shabbos HaGadol, these are halachas for Shabbos HaGadol, which we'll see, we'll go through. These are Shabbos HaGadol, Drasha brought an halacha. These are Haftarah for Shabbos HaGadol. The Ramah says the minhag to say the Haggadah. Shabbos HaGadol, the Shulchan Aruch says, is the Shabbos shel Afnei Pesach. Siman Tov Lamed Sif Al Shabbos shel Afnei Pesach. Koyur Nois Shabbos HaGadol. That's the Shabbos before, which this year is Erev Pesach. So that's clear. Shabbos HaGadol this year, like every year, is the Shabbos before Pesach. Erev Pesach is Shabbos HaGadol. That's when Shabbos HaGadol is. However, one of the halachas for Shabbos HaGadol, like the Shiur brings early in Siman Tav Chav Tes on the din of Shloshim Yom Kaidem Achag, he brings from the Poskim that even if you don't start 30 days before, but Shabbos HaGadol, the minhag is to say a drasha. And what type of drasha? A drasha, not in lumdis, but a drasha in practical halachas. So people should know what to do. People should know how to kasher and hilchas tvilas kelem and how to clean for Pesach. The halachas, the practical halachas. That's what the purpose of a Shabbos HaGadol drasha is. Memela, zog in the Poskim, if you're going to give the Shabbos HaGadol drasha Erev Pesach, it's too late already. Erev Pesach, it's Shabbos. I sure hope that the kashering was done, tvilas kelim was done, the cleaning was done, the bedikas chametz was done. We'll see, we'll go through all the prati dinim. So the Shabbos HaGadol drasha, even though Shabbos HaGadol is Erev Pesach, it gets moved back to the Shabbos before. The Shabbos HaGadol drasha is not on Shabbos HaGadol, to be able to have the purpose of the drasha that people should know the halachas. Some Sefer was noig like that, to give the drasha a week before. Yotzres. These Yotzres l'Shabbos HaGadol. When do you say the Yotzres? Some say the Pri Begadim, the El Yerabah, and later the Darkei Chaim v'Shalom, the Minkachas would have that minhag to say the Yotzres Erev Pesach. Shabbos HaGadol. It's Yotzres. You look in the Siddur, Yotzres l'Shabbos HaGadol. Shabbos HaGadol is Erev Pesach. So they said the Yotzres Erev Pesach. Mi'idach. That's the pashtus, because Shabbos HaGadol is Erev Pesach. And Mamela, Yotzes HaShabbos HaGadol, you say Erev Pesach. Mi'idach, the Maril says the minhag is not to say it on Shabbos HaGadol, but rather the Shabbos before. And the reason for that is if you take a look in the Yotzes from the Rishonim, the Yotzes of Shabbos HaGadol goes through the halachas that are necessary for Pesach. Hagalas Kalim. How do you do bedikas chametz? Goes through all the halachas that are necessary. Kashering. And Memela, if you're learning, you're saying the Yotzers to know the halachas, Erev Pesach is too late, so Memela Zaktamaril, you say it the Shabbos before. However, being that the time for Yotzers really is on Shabbos HaGadol, you're moving it earlier for a practical reason, but the time of Yotzers l'Shabbos HaGadol, there were those that had the minhag, the Divrei Yoel, the others had the minhag to say the Yotzers after Shmoneh Esrei, after Chazaras Hashatz. Usually you say Yotzers during Chazaras Hashatz. Over here, they said it after, so it shouldn't be a hefsek, because really the time to say it is Shabbos HaGadol, not the week before. There's a third minhag, which I saw brought her. Vosna had that minhag. There's a third minhag to actually say the Yotzres on both weeks, but not double, but rather to split it. To split the Yotzres between the two Shabbosim. The first, so to speak, 2/3, the bigger chelik that speaks about all the halachas prior to Pesach, kashering, tfilas kelim, bedikas chametz, all those halachas are all negeh before Erev Pesach Shechalias b'Shabbos, so they say it all the week before. However, starting from Yayin Kiyas Adam, this last part is all halachas of the Seder, the wine and the halachas, and that's why at the end it says Chasal Seder Pesach. That what we have in Agada comes from here, from the Yotzes Chasal Seder Pesach, after going through the halachas of the Leila Seder. This second part is said on Erev Pesach, Shechalias b'Shabbos, which is Shabbos Agadol, because then it's time. It's the time to say the Yotzes on Shabbos Agadol, and it's not too early, it's not too late, I'm sorry, to say it Erev Pesach. You go through halachas of the Seder. So far we covered the Shabbos Agadol drasha. That gets moved back. Yotzris is different in Hagam if it gets moved back, if it gets split. There's another din that's negeh for Shabbos Agadol, the Haftarah. There's a special Haftarah for Shabbos Agadol, the Arva. We actually spoke about it a few weeks ago when there was a Shiur on Brachas Lagabi B'Masayim B'Davar Toiv. So in the Haftarah of the Arva, we say over the last pasuk because we repeat the second to last pasuk Masayim B'Davar Toiv. Anyways, the Haftarah of the Arva, which is Haftarah for Shabbos Agadol, when do you say it? Do you say it this year as well? When do you say this Haftarah? You say it Shabbos Agadol. It's interesting. There are different minhagim. There are those that have the minig, the Chasam Sofer, the Levush, Ber Heitev, Shulchan Aruch Harav, that they only say the Haftarah of the Arva only a year like this year, that Erev Pesach, Shabbos Agadol is Erev Pesach. Why? Because in the Haftarah we speak about Beer Meisris, which the Zman for Beer Meisris is Erev Pesach. So therefore, only when Shabbos Agadol falls out to be on Erev Pesach do you say this Haftarah of the Arva, because Haftarah speaks about the pasuk of being Mevar Meisris, which is particular on Erev Pesach. The Chaim says that that's the minig Eretz Yisrael. We'll see soon other minhagim. The Aruch HaShulchan brings that the minig is just the opposite. A year like this year is when you don't say that, when we don't have the Haftarah of Shabbos Agadol v'Arva. Why? Because you can't do Meisros on Shabbos. So just the opposite. A year like this year, Erev Pesach, Shechalias b'Shabbos, you can't do Beer Meisros. You can't do it. So every other year you could say v'Arva, even if it's not Mamish Erev Pesach, but it's the time, the Kufa of Beer Meisros, so you say v'Arva. As opposed to this year that Erev Pesach is Shabbos, so Mamela, you don't say v'Arva because you can't be Mevar Meisros. So we have some that have the minig only to say the Haftarah of v'Arva this year. Some have the minig just the opposite. Just this year you don't say v'Arva. And then there are many, the Levush says Lamaisa, the Yavitz, many have the minig. Archas Rabbeinu says that was the minig of the Chazanish, and Luach Eretz Yisrael, that's the minig Eretz Yisrael. Many, if not most, have the minig to say the Haftarah v'Arva every time, every Shabbos Agadol. Of course, this year it's going to be Erev Pesach, because that is Erev Pesach. And what's the reason? Yeah?
Is there a day in halacha for your Meisros of what day it should be, or it's just Erev Pesach means like the week before the Tkufa?
No. The last time, Be'arti as a Kodesh when Bais said do it on time, the latest time, yeah. Not, you don't have to wait till then, but that's the late. By then, you have to take care of being Mavar, taking care of the Meisros. And that's Taket Azman. Beer Meisros by then. Very good, the latest time. What's the hezber in those that have the minig to always say the Haftarah v'Arva? So there's two reasons. The Levush says a reason, not because of Beer Meisros. There's another pasuk. The pasuk in the Haftarah says, Hinei anochi shleich lachem es Eliyahu Hanavi, the Geula, which we should be Zoicha b'Nisan Nigal u'b'Nisan Hasidun Ligal, and it's Minyana Diyoima, it's Me'en Hamura of what having the Haftarah, because Moshe Rabbeinu said on Shabbos Agadol before Pesach, he told Klal Yisrael we're going out of Mitzrayim. So Mamela, nothing to do of if the Shabbos Agadol falls out to be on Erev Pesach, or it falls out a few days before. Regardless, a few days before we read the Haftarah which speaks about the Geula, which Moshe Rabbeinu told us about the Geula. The Yavit says another reason. It says Pesach. It's a Gemara in Rosh Hashanah Tezayin. The Mishnah, I think, even that Pesach nidoinim al atvua. And the Gemara in Shabbos Daf Lamed Beis, the Gemara says that ba'avoin not giving maisris, the Shemayim is netzar, it doesn't rain, and there's a hunger, and the tvua doesn't grow. So when we read Av Torah, it's not particular about Be'arti HaKodesh, about the last time to give maisris, but rather a reminder to Klal Yisrael to be nizer in maisris, because if not, it's not going to be good. It's coming now, the tkufa of Nidan al Atvua. We should make sure to keep maisris, so we should have a good year in Tvua.
It happens to be that the goal was the 70 years between the Bais and Bais Sheni had to do with Shumas Maisris and Shvius and Shemitah.
Aha, Shemitah, Shumas and Maisris also a Shemitah, because they how many years? What'd you say?
They're all interconnected.
Right, I hear. You're saying also the Galus also. Could be Shemitah is a little bit also, the din is that the Karka has to rest. Next year is a year of Shemitah. The Karka has to rest, so Mela, it kicked out, Lo Shavas, so Mela kicked out Klal Yisrael. The Trumas HaMais is maybe a little different, the concept. So what did we cover so far? We spoke about the Shabbos HaGadol Drasha, Yotzris, Haftorah, and then I think there's one more din that I know, I think, is the Haggadah. The Ramah says, in Siman Tov Lamed, the minig is to say, B'mincha of Shabbos HaGadol, you say the Haggadah. Haggadah, v'aminig loy b'mincha Haggadah, matchil savad amin al-chap avon yiseinu. It's known, the Goyen, the Bir Halacha brings the Goyen. The Goyen said actually, B'dafka not to say the Haggadah. And the reason for that is because we say, Yachol meboid yoim, that you should already earlier, Talmud Loim, but you have to say it Leil Pesach. So the Goyen said, he said not like the minig of the Ramah, to say the Haggadah shal Pesach on Shabbos HaGadol, but rather not to say it. So what does it negate? And I'm bringing it up now. Shabbos HaGadol is Erev Pesach. And this minig to say the Haggadah, if you go like the Ramah, you say it even on Erev Pesach. The Mishabura speaks it out very clearly. If you go with the minig Ramah, you say it even on Erev Pesach. What's the Chiddush? Because Erev Pesach is mamash yachol meboid yoim. In other words, this year, the minig Ramah to say it, that even this year, you're going to be saying the Haggadah shal Pesach, Erev Pesach in the afternoon, out the minig, even though yachol meboid yoim. So we spoke about the Shabbos HaGadol as well as the Shabbos before Shabbos HaGadol. One important halacha, Motzah Shabbos, when these Yom Tov during the week, you don't say V'inoyam, because V'inoyam, like I think the Torah already says, it has to be that you have 6 days of Malacha. And maybe you don't say V'inoyam. This year, the week before Pesach is a complete week, Avada, from the Shabbos till Shabbos HaGadol is a complete 6 days, and you say V'inoyam. As opposed to if Pesach falls out on Shabbos, it happened I think 2 years ago, Erev Pesach, Friday, over there, these are machloikas haposkim if you say it, because these are shaila Erev Pesach, these are Issa Malacha only after Chatzos, Metam Minig, these are shaila, the Mishabur says you say V'inoyam even over there. But for sure for this year, Pesach is Sunday, and Erev Pesach is Shabbos, so then you have a full 6 days of Yemei Maisa, and you say V'inoyam, the Shabbos before Shabbos HaGadol. Shabbos, Motzah Shabbos Vayikra, we're going to say V'inoyam. Now let's fast forward from the Shabbos before Shabbos HaGadol. Most of the week is a regular week. Now let's get towards the end of the week, and we'll go through some of the halachos, so see how far we could get to. Tainus B'chayrim. When is Tainus B'chayrim this year? On a regular year, Tainus B'chayrim is Erev Pesach. This year, Erev Pesach is Shabbos, so we did not fast on Erev Pesach. So when is the Tainus? Clearly the halacha is, it's a din in Shulchan Aruch, Tov Ayin. Tov Ayin I think is a din of Tainus B'chayrim. Sha'abachayros mis'anin be'erev Pesach. It's a whole simon in Shulchan Aruch, Tainis B'chayrim. Zok the Shulchan Aruch and Siv Bais, if Erev Pesach falls out on Shabbos like this year, Zok the Shulchan Aruch, these 2 days. The first day is, nobody says you fast on Friday. The first day is, you can't fast on Shabbos, you move it back to Thursday. Why to Thursday? Why not on Friday? If Pesach falls out on Shabbos, the Tainis B'chayrim is Friday, B'pashtis, what happened 3 years ago. So why now do we move it back to Thursday? We just had now, 3 months ago, Asar B'Tevis, we fasted on Friday. So why wouldn't we fast Tainis B'chayrim on Friday? The teretz is, really, we spoke about it on Asar B'Tevis Shechal Shabbos. Really, we don't want to fast on Friday. It's not covered Shabbos. There's a few reasons not to fast on Friday. However, if the Tainis falls out on Friday, Farfallen, you do what you do, and it comes Shabbos, you right away, you don't ma'acher, you make kiddush right away. That's when it falls on Friday. However, if it falls out on Shabbos, which it happens, it falls out on Shabbos, then already we skip over Friday and we move it to Thursday. For an example, a very good example would be Tainis Esther. If Purim falls out on Sunday, when is Tainis Esther? The day before Purim. Doesn't make a difference where you are. Tainis Esther is Yud Gimel Shabbos. You don't fast on Shabbos. Then we move back Tainis Esther all the way to Thursday. Why not to Friday? Because you don't want to fast on Friday. So the first shita is that the Tainis of B'chayrim for this year is Thursday. And there's no shita that it's Friday. It's Thursday. The Shulchan Aruch brings another shita, v'yesh oimrim, being that it's only a minig, it's not a choiva. We don't fast this year. V'yesh oimrim, in the Mechaber, a shita that this year B'chayrim don't fast. L'maisa, the Ramah says the minig is like the first way, and we do fast. And when do we fast? We fast Thursday. In Erev Pesach, yesh oimrim she'mesanam b'chayis b'yom chamishi, v'yesh oimrim she'ein mesanam klal, we don't fast. Hagoav, yesh linik esvar rishayna. You take a fast on Thursday. L'maisa, most of us don't b'chayrim, I'm a b'chayr, we don't fast, we make a siyum, or these halachas, if you listen to a siyum, as the Mishabura calls it, it's a kula to listen, but we're mekel, and memel, if you mishtata for a siyum, you don't have to fast. We're not going to go into the halachas, what's considered mishtata, what's a siyum, that's negay. Every year we're trying to focus today's shiur on the halachas of Erev Pesach, Shechal Shabbos, so there's a siyum. Why were we mekel on a siyum? Really, you're supposed to fast. You're supposed to fast Erev Pesach. Somebody recently told me that he heard there's some that taka have the minute to fast Erev Pesach, which is taka moira de gechidish. It's hard. The Aruch HaShulchan says the reason we're mekel to make a siyum or to mishtatef in a siyum and not fast is because people are shvach. And just imagine, a Sar B'Tevis you fast. First of all, it's in the winter, but even if it would be later, you fast, you make kiddush, and you eat. By the Seder, you don't eat till Shulchan Aruch till 12, 1 o'clock. So it's mamish late, and you have to also have koiches for the Leila Seder, for the Sipri Yitzias Mitzrayim. Leila will make it to rely on a siyum. The Chassam Sofer used to fast. The Chassam Sofer fasted Erev Pesach. However, a year like this year, that these 2 days in the Shulchan Aruch, if you bechlal have to fast this year, then he taka relied to listen to a siyum. Though if it was Thursday, but anyways, the Chassam Sofer taka fasted. A year like this year, he didn't fast. Made a siyum. The shaila, however, like this is very interesting. Being that really the time to fast is Shabbos, it gets moved back. So we move it back to Thursday. The shaila becomes, what's about Friday? Do you also have to make or listen to siyum Friday, Erev Shabbos, which is Erev of Erev Pesach Shechal B'Shabbos? The Shulchan Aruch says the day of fasting is Thursday. So if you fast Thursday. But what happens if you don't fast? You ate. We had a siyum. So really, you were yoytza already, the dinner fasting, but finished, you're mashtatev in a siyum. But Zokter Moshe has a whole tshuva about this, and Moshe says, if you take a look by Tainus Esther, which also gets moved back to Thursday, the Shulchan Aruch, it's a Ramah, says that if there's a bris, the people could also be mishtatev. Davia ben, the sandik, they anyways could eat. But even the people that are mishtatev and the suda could eat on Thursday. However, they have to fast Friday. So my said, the Shiur brings that's not the minig. We're not knowing the Chaim argue, but you see the concept that Tainus Esther was moved to Thursday. That's when Chazal came Hukva on Thursday. But if you ate Thursday, it's not just a tashlum, and you have to fast Friday because Tainus Esther is Friday for you. Mil Zakra Moshe for Tainus B'charim would be the same thing as well. It got moved back all the way to Thursday, but for whatever reason you missed Thursday, you mashtatev in a sudas bris in a siyum, so then you have to fast Friday, which would come out that you should have to have a siyum, listen to siyum on Friday. In Orchas Rabbeinu they bring that was the minig of the stipel and Yibadul Chaim Kanevsky a siyum Thursday and Friday. L'maiser Moshe Tshuva, even though he says a reason you should have to fast or listen to a siyum Friday, Ramosha says L'maiser it's only this fasting is a minig, it's not a chayva. Maybe you don't have to be machmet to hear a siyum Thursday and Friday. But Al Kapanim clearly the zman for the siyum is Thursday. It's a din of Shulchan Aruch. Again, it's a machloikis. The Shulchan Aruch brings one shita that this year Tainus B'chayrim is not applicable this year. L'maiser the Ramah says we should be machmer. So we spoke about Shabbos HaGadol, even though we're not holding by Shabbos HaGadol yet, but we spoke about it because the Shabbos before has maybe half of the dinim of Shabbos HaGadol. And we spoke about Thursday. Now we're going to move along Thursday night. Thursday night is a zman of B'dikas Chametz. It's clear, it's obvious, it's a din in Shulchan Aruch, which is Leil Yud Gimel. The Shulchan Aruch in Siman Tov Mem Dalid, which is the siman of Erev Pesach Shechalias B'Shabbos. The Olam finishes Chazara. We could go into that siman Tov Mem Dalid. The Shulchan Aruch starts Yud Dalid Shechalias B'Shabbos. When do you do B'dikas Chametz? Boitkin Leil Yud Gimel. Zokta Mishnah Berurah, you make a bedika with a bracha. What's the chiddush? Because if you make a bedika before Leil Yud Dalid, for an example, you live in Eretz Yisrael. I lived in Eretz Yisrael for a few years, and I came back for Pesach. I wasn't in my apartment Leil Yud Dalid. I made an early bedika. Medina, you make a bedika. It's not maybe a Medina. You're supposed to make a bedika, but if you don't make the bedika bizman, you don't make a bracha. So the chiddush is for this year, the zman bedika is Leil Yud Gimel, and you make a bracha. That is the time to make a bedika. Thursday night. It's not Erev Pesach, it's the night before Erev Pesach. You make a bedika with a bracha. Why Leil Yud Gimel? Obviously Shabbos you can't do it Leil Yud Daled Friday night because a neir is muktzah. And you can't do it Yud Gimel Friday in the morning because we want to do a bedika la'or haner, so mainly we do it Leil Yud Gimel. Sreifas chametz, so that's Thursday night. Thursday night is bedika. When do you burn the chametz? On a regular year, you have to burn the chametz. You save zman achila, which is usually in the 10:30 area, and then save zman beer. We have to get rid of your chametz. Whether if you're selling your chametz, you have to close it up. It's sold before the Seif Zman beer, let's say around 11:30, 11:45. And immediately you have to burn bibakayim, the minig. The minig is to burn the chametz. That's how we'll mavar the chametz. Beer chametz we're going to speak about either next shiur or the following shiur, because beer chametz is really on Shabbos. Hopefully, Be'ez Hashem, next week we're going to focus a lot on Shabbos, the Sudas and Kovei Suda, a lot of halachas. That'll be a shtickle, a shiur psicha for next month when we start Ketzad Mavarchim. A lot of halachas, Kovei Suda, benching, agofen, some of Shabbos halachas also. But there's also what to speak about beer chametz. The bimavar to finish up your chametz is not Friday. Why? Because you're still eating chametz. These are din you mashayir chametz for Friday night, for Shabbos. You could. We'll speak about also if you could use matzah, Be'ez Hashem. But let's focus on sreifas chametz. Obviously, you can't burn the chametz. You can't burn it on Shabbos So we burn it Friday. So really, b'yisoidai me'ikar adin, you could burn the chametz all Friday. Because there's no seif zman beer on Friday. You could eat chametz all Friday. So maybe what do you have to go run and burn the chametz in the morning? You want to come back after Seder, after work, come back, burn the chametz Friday afternoon. What do you have to go in the morning? Do you have to go in the morning? The Mordche brings Rashi, made this, the minig of Rashi was, yes, to do it in the morning, which is brought in Shulchan Aruch. Tov Mem Daled, the Simon of Erev Pesach Shechalias B'Shabbos. This minig, and the Shulchan Aruch calls up a lashon toiv. Toiv levayer be'erev Shabbos koydem chatzos. To do it in the morning. Why to do it in the morning? Why? Because a person shouldn't get mixed up. If a person is going to burn the chametz this year, Friday afternoon at 2 o'clock, next year when it's going to come to burn the chametz, he's not going to remember that Erev Pesach, Erev Shabbos, he went in the afternoon. He'll go to burn it next year in the afternoon as well. And it'll come to be over an Issa Deiraisa because he still has chametz, Erev Pesach in the afternoon. So Mamela, it's better to do it in the morning. Even though the Lashon HaMachaber is from Chatzos, before Chatzos, we burn the chametz before Shah Shishis, before the 6th hour, which means, let's say around, this year it's 11:45, not Chatzos. It means before the regular, like every year. Every year we're rushing before 11:30, 11:45, this year as well. Again, not to mix up, and next year come to burn the chametz Erev Pesach in the afternoon. There are those that take the Lashon HaMachaber literally at Chatzos. To Shulchan Aruch Harav, also in Das Torah, he brings like that, Tul Chatzos. Why Tul Chatzos? Because Midiraisa, there's only a Isser Chametz only after Chatzos. Before Chatzos, it's a Gzeir D'Rabbanan, Yom Ma'unan, so Mela, we revire our chametz already Erev Pesach an hour before Chatzos. If it's a Yom Ma'unan Midrabanan, Midraisa, you have to Chatzos. The Mela, they say you're doing it out chash. You're going to mix up next year to do a gzeira, to have a gzeira atu, a gzeira D'Rabbanan, to do it an hour earlier, and a gzeira the next year you're going to mix up on that hour. For that you don't have to be choishish. And in Mela, this year, Friday, you could burn the chametz till Chatzos. What's the worst that's going to happen next year? You're going to say, yeah, I went in the morning, but I remember I was able to do it till Chatzos. So if next year you'll go and you'll burn the chametz till Chatzos, your taka going to be over on an Issa D'Rabbanan, but it's Issa D'Rabbanan, and to make a gzeira this year, atu next year, you're going to come to be over an Issa D'Rabbanan, a gzeira like gazrinan. So Mamela, some say the Mishnah understands that this year the fire you should burn the chametz as a regular year. Some say you have a little bit more time till Chatzos. One more halacha that I'll speak about now just briefly because it's part of this shiur, and maybe next week we'll start with it and go on a little more. But it's a part of the Sreifas chametz. Is also beer chametz. I meant to say mechiras chametz. You should all go sell the chametz whenever you sell it, a week before. You don't have to wait till Erev Pesach. It gets so busy over here. It's mamash kamat that I can't handle it the day before. So many people come the last minute. It's time you go a few days before. You sell the chametz b'yishav adas. You don't have to sell it toich kedei, a few minutes before the save zman. You sell it whenever you sell it. But when is the mechira a mechira chal? Here also the poskim say better that the sale should be like a regular year, not to get mixed up. To sell at the regular time, the time to say Friday, the mechira should be Friday morning. We'll speak about Lamaisi, you have more chametz because you have for the Shabbos, but that's when the mechira should be. Some say you could do it later. And then there's even a discussion, what happens if somebody forgot to sell his chametz, how to do it, because Shabbos you're not allowed to sell, it's a dvar mitzvah. But when I'm just bringing in the mechiras chametz, some say rather it should be sold to the goy Erev Pesach, Erev Shabbos, the day before Erev Pesach, before 11:30, b'doima to a regular year. Some say you don't have to be mamish that time, because who sells the chametz? The Rav. In the olden days, the Rav wasn't an organized mechir with the Rav. Every person went to the goy to sell. But that changed because people didn't know exactly the halachas, and now it's organized through a Rav, knows all the kinyanim. When everybody did it, you have to be choishish from one year to the next, you're going to mix up. If the Rav does it, so the Rav knows the halachas, you don't have to be choishish. But upon him, the reason to be it's bedoimet to the streifas chum, it's not to mix up. So far in this year, just to sum up, we spoke about Shabbos HaGadol, and some of the halachas of Shabbos HaGadol are really negeya to the week before, even though it's not Shabbos HaGadol. We spoke about Tainis B'chorim Thursday, B'dikas Chametz Thursday night, and Friday morning Streifas Chametz. Have a wonderful Shabbos.